Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Saturday. About, let's see, 3:20 p.m. Eastern, 2023. The ego will not allow you to see the reality because it says, I am separate. And the moment the tree thinks it is separate from the earth, it starts dying. The tree has to know that it exists only as an extension of the earth. Then it is nourished and fed by the earth. Only then is it at home, Osha. This world, you've probably, maybe yourself or you've talked with people through your travels, that is filled with people who feel they've lost their way or they don't fit in. And, you know, many people are facing divorce, drowning in bills, cannot sleep, massively overweight, deeply depressed, eating dead food, deeply unhealthy. Perhaps they've lost a family member, their soulmate, or even their house, financial security, or worse, the hope for a better future. This life can get intense at times, that some people feel they have even lost their minds. I've seen that, witnessed it. When it comes down to it, we have all experienced some form of loss. Yet whatever it is that we lose along this grand adventurous journey, no matter what it is, we must also realize that it is a precious gift, teaching us the sacred art of letting go. This, you know, it's for many people. They say it's difficult or very challenging or almost impossible to understand that to not have attachment. Okay? I'll give you an example. You get attached to something really heavily duty, and you will not part with it no matter what. You suffer. You suffer greatly when the fact that you lose it. Say you lose it. You lose what you're attached to. And it might sound strange, but when you're partnered with, you're coupled with somebody, right? You're together years and years and years and years. And then, of course, one leaves the body. And the other is lost without them. And they're depressed and they're heartbroken and many emotional things take place with them. Some never recover. Why is that? Because we have a propensity in this civilization to attach ourselves to something or someone. Not only that, along the way, we manifest expectations. We expect certain things, right? You expect this to happen. I expected this to happen a year ago, or I expected this to take place yesterday, and it didn't. And along with that comes disappointment and frustration and sadness and fear and all of these things. And it's a good lesson for us because when people say, well, if you don't get attached, you're a cold and heartless person. No way. The only reason you're not attached is because you know that body houses the God, and the body is not the God. And you know that it's temporary. So you enjoy it while you can. That's the whole point. That's the point of living in the now. Because you don't project. You're not projecting into the future or the past. And again, that's where we will encounter frustration, irritation, confusion, worry, stress, fear, anxiety. Every time we go there, we're in a suffering state. What can that mean? I mean that you could be in a worrying state, you could be a concerned state, you could be in a fearful state, all because we mostly on this planet live in yesterday or tomorrow. We exist, that's where we exist. And the reason that is because the ego mind has mastered us and directs us, guides us. And one of the reasons we're here, amongst many, is to learn to master the mind. To learn to master you. To master your thoughts. And that's your decision. No one else's. That's your choice. No one else's. And even though some of us still cling, we still cling. Even though we know the ultimate truth here is that we cannot take anything with us when we die. That you can't. You're not even argue that one. You can't. We don't take anything with us. So why are we so attached to it? There are no cell phones, emails, bills, car payments, or bank accounts when you're out of the body. There is just love. Pure, deep, eternal love. An eternity of time to enjoy it. When this body has served its time on earth and is done here, we take nothing with us but our own life experiences, love, and consciousness. That's it. So why is it that so many of us white-knuckle so many things in this life? Why do we do that? What's the reason? Because the ego mind rules us. And imagine that most of the people on this planet do not know that. Now, and everybody on this cold state of mind, they go, well, that's crazy. How come they don't know that? They should. We know it. Or do we really know it? So, our life experiences, love and consciousness, are the most precious items that we are carrying right now, by far. And so shouldn't we make them our number one priority over all of our ego's needs, fears, wants, wishes, demands, and desires? Because when you do, you will find your life suddenly becomes much easier, sweeter, and simpler to live. And the interesting thing about all of this is that our guidance, right, is within us, not outside of us. And every now and then we do need guiding light to show us where to go in this life. I don't think any of us are exempt from that. You know, someone might say, oh, you know, I've traveled where I've done this, I just, you know, everything. But still, we need some guiding light to show us where to go in this life at times. This greatest light that you could ever discover, again, is not in the outer world, yet deep inside at the very core of consciousness. The light of pure awareness. Now, if we look close enough, we will see that it has a direct, consistent connection that is flowing to and from the actual God source itself. We could miss experiencing this amazing connection because we're paying more attention to our thoughts about it instead of the actual light of pure awareness. So simply place your attention only on pure awareness and nothing else. See what happens. Try it for the next few minutes. Notice if something shifts in how spiritually connected you feel. Place your attention only on pure awareness and nothing else. You feel it? Pure awareness. Often the moment when we forget about our brilliant light of awareness, the mind instantly takes over and tends to point itself towards its desires. It wants to achieve things to be happy, successful, fulfilled, or heal negative experiences from the past, as it believes these are the main reasons why we are not happy today. Yet, these aren't the real reason why we continue this habit of remaining caught in some emotional gutter. The real reason why we remain stuck in yesterday's old news is because we haven't learned how to create a solid, trusting connection with the God Source, the source of absolute, deep, eternal love. We've forgotten that the God Source is real, that it's instantly available, that it's here right now, super easy to access, and the great golden secret, how we can all truly enjoy this precious life again. See, we cannot fail at anything in life, in this life, when we are feeling connected with this great, deeply eternal loving source within. When we are feeling our soul's natural connection with it, we relax and start asking ourselves deeper questions, like, why am I really here? What's the most enlightened thing I can do with my time? What can I do to live out my life's mission? When we are feeling into our sweet, supportive spiritual connection, we instantly stop complaining, let go of our demanding, abrasive ego, and start appreciating what is. Awakening the God Source within is quite simple. It really boils down to giving up our resistance to our connection with it. As we investigate further inside ourselves, we can find places where we could start relaxing more about life and opening our hearts to trusting in this life more and more and more. The God Source is everywhere. There's no place or time any of us can find to escape from it. The task then is all about letting go of our resistance to its great unending love. Most of us fight it. I know it sounds strange, but most of us fight that. Love. Life is a school. Love is the lesson. When we open the heart to trusting in the energy of deep eternal love, we begin learning the most important lesson we are here to learn. And that's how to fully embrace, accept, and appreciate who and what we really are. We were not born to just tolerate our lives. We are here to celebrate, love, and embrace everyone and everything in it. Celebrate, love, and embrace everyone and everything in this world. When we stop dwelling on how we were wronged, how messed up we are, or wounded we are by our past, we create a space for love to come in. Then we can start using our creative energy to enjoy feeling how deeply, eternally loved we are. And amazing it is to be alive. So what's the secret to awakening the great God source within? Begins with a sincere willingness to let love in. Most of us don't let love in. I know that might sound strange, but most of the people on this planet do not let love in. They fight it. Okay? They do not trust love either. But you choose to trust love to allow love in whenever given. A lot of people are given love, but they block it. Fearfully. Fear of being hurt, harmed, or disappointed, or misled. To trust love, to allow love in whenever given, and welcome the vibration of feeling lovable. This is a willingness. It is what allows us to stop defending and protecting ourselves from any possibility of future pain. What is our biggest, in our interrelations, our interactions with each other on this planet? Fear of rejection. On many fronts. Always wanting to be accepted, right? And the crucial part is that most of us don't accept ourselves. How are we going to accept anything else? So this willingness to let love in is what allows us to stop defending and protecting ourselves from any possibility of future pain. We forget to be afraid of life, which many of us are. Of people, which many of us are. Of taking risks, which many of us won't. Of creating intimacy and getting hurt again. With just a little willingness to let in deep eternal love, we begin feeling more open, vulnerable, and excited to allow even more amazing and abundant experiences into our lives. This willingness to let in love is a huge step. And with it, we will realize just how beautiful, childlike, and tremendously innocent we truly are. This life is the greatest school there is. I'm sure we would all agree to that. And it's always going to be teaching us what we most need to know about ourselves. The experience of letting in love is founded in the feeling of trusting life. How many of us trust life? There is a part in us that wants to let in love and trust life more than anything. Yet, is skeptical, doubtful, prideful, or may not believe we are lovable. We may have 1,000 reasons not to trust in life or love. It may feel more honest that we doubt ourselves, others, and continue to protect ourselves from trusting in anyone or anything. This is how the connection of the God source gets blocked. It can be quickly shifted. However, and this happens by simply relaxing our body, mind, and being willing to trust, and how good it feels to trust again. Slowly, we will actually become more trusting, more open, honest, available, receptive, and eventually start feeling in our soul's direct connection to the God source again. The singer exists only in singing. The walker exists only in walking. So is the ego. The ego exists only in clinging, in possessing things, in dominating things. When there is no domination, no desire to dominate, no desire to cling, no desire to possess, the ego starts evaporating. Osho. So I invite you to try a little experiment on yourself this week. Consider that your grand soul purpose in this life is simply to trust in every experience you are having within. Trust in every feeling, every thought, belief, emotion. Trust in your intuition. Each situation you're a part of. Excuse me. Trust so fully and deeply that everything inside of you relaxes completely. Watch how your mind and ego tend to resist trust at first. Yet in time, they will slowly dissolve into it. When our trust is absolute on the inner world, it will overflow into everyone in your outer world. Trust in yourself first. Always in yourself first. In what is occurring within you is the right experience you're learning the most from. Making trust bigger than the actual thought, judgment, or life experience is one of the quickest ways to find the God source within you. Right now, right in this very moment, tell yourself that it's possible to trust in yourself 100% this week. Imagine you are doing this and embracing the divine being you truly are. The simple energy of trusting in this life is the secret to opening the doorway to the deep, eternal, loving God source. It's really not a tough job if we consider the other possible techniques others are doing to try and reach God. I invite you, I challenge you, and I dare you to fully explore this experience of deep trust. Relax fully into it and let it spread all throughout your life. Take on this trusting invitation first thing in the morning. Feel that it's extremely safe to let down all your guards today. Walk around with a receptive, trusting heart, welcoming in life with a big smile. Just try it for 24 hours. See what manifests. Explore the sensations of being open, welcoming and accepting with all beings, animals, plants, situations, experiences, and material things. Just take it. Some people fake it until they make it, if they need to. As we relax into this moment and become more open and available to this life, our fears, phobias, and pain from the past cannot be found anymore. They are like shadows that disappear when the sunlight enters. All your hardness and skepticism melts into this sea of this divine trusting energy. Do not underestimate the magnitude of this simple trusting practice. It is powerful enough to transform yourself and everyone in your world. There's another great secret to instantly awaken your connection with the great God source within you. This is for those who find it absolutely impossible to let their guard down and trust anything at all. The sweet secret is to enter the black hole of emptiness inside you and let it empty out yourself completely. Merge with the emptiness, and it will help you to let go of everything. Just surrender everything inside you and be free from everything. Let go of your attachment to everything. Thought, everything, thought and feeling you're having. Release your addictions, desires, compulsion, wishes, and beliefs into the empty unknown. Throw everything inside yourself into the emptiness until you are 100% empty. You won't be disappointed at what happens next. The next experience that manifests in this emptying out process is very liberating. When you are total in your letting go, releasing it all into the emptiness, you create a fresh space for something brand new to enter you. When every hard, cold neurosis is out of the way, the pendulum tends to swing back towards the feeling nurtured and nourished by life. The soft, warm, loving presence of your own soul steps in. And you feel as if life is holding you so closely, warmly, and exquisitely, the emptiness suddenly becomes very full. And you feel as if you've become a newborn baby, suckling on the great universal mother's breast. It feels so good to know that the great sacred God source is here now, waiting patiently for you to empty yourself out. This is one quick way to immediately reach into her. It's good to know that the magic of discovering the God source within happens in the simple, sweet presence of your own company. When you're truly alone, try out these techniques. Let yourself allow this awesome, indescribable God force pierce through your heart soul and consciousness. The pure God source energy is already penetrating you. You're simply not aware of it. The God source will never reject or deny you. It is always ready for you to open, wanting to move into you. And there is nothing you can do to change this. We must always choose to be aware, however, that the mind is always trying to make something happen. It will try to pave a straight, firm path towards what it thinks God is. Yet, it's this narrow mind habit which causes us to miss God every time. The universal God source is too vast, deep, and enormous for the mind can contain. The moment we empty our mind and let down our resistance to love, we discover how fun it is to bow down to the divine. It's in this moment that the God source flows into you. When you're the most surrendered, still, and in the most humble state of ecstasy. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Albert Einstein, he was right. Now, a tough thing for many of us is there is a universal law amongst the many, a law of detachment, which means that in order to acquire anything in the physical universe, you have to relinquish your attachment to it. This doesn't mean you give up your intention to create your desire. You don't give up the intention, and you don't give up the desire. You give up your attachment to the result. Deepak Chopra. And he was right. We detach ourselves from the result. In other words, a lot of us bank on the outcome, what we're going to do with the outcome and our attachment to it. This is what we blend in. And so what do we connect that with? And the proof of it is anything that we're attached to. Okay? Attachment leads to suffering. Whenever we become attached to a desire, a belief, a thought, a feeling, or anything for that matter, we needlessly suffer. The suffering arises because attachment is an energy born out of fear, lack, and disconnection to our source. We tighten our grip on certain desires because deep down we believe we need to manifest them in order to feel safe, happy, secure, or loved. And this is an overly tight grip on life simply means we are not feeling the natural connection in our hearts to the great healing source and spirit within ourselves. As long as the mind continues to circulate in this vicious attachment dilemma, we can never truly relax and fully access this ever-expanding, all-loving spiritual source that radiates at our very core. Isn't that? a huge discovery? Whenever happiness is determined by any thought, feeling, or external event, then we become a slave to it. And the great egoic circle of suffering begins. Expectations and disappointments are great examples of how attachment leads to suffering. If the big desire we had today manifests or doesn't manifest, it then becomes the main leading cause of our happiness and unhappiness. The very instant we become attached to a thought, we end up forgetting about love, joy, freedom, and the endless possible things we can be thankful for. The grip onto any thought narrows and eventually blocks our energy, creativity, and vibration, so we cannot perceive any new ideas or options available. So perhaps you're asking, how can we be passionate about our desires in this life and yet approach them in a non-attached, easygoing way? Secret is the middle path. If we are too attached or too unattached to our desires, they won't manifest. We must choose to hold the baby bird in our hand not too tight, or we'll suffocate it, and not too loose, or it will fly away. The real secret is finding our natural connection to Source that is always coming from trust and is free from worry and fear. Our desires have this natural tendency to manifest faster than the speed of light when we are walking down the middle of this road. Where did we learn attachment from? Did we have attachment as babies? No. As young children? No. Attachment is a habit that we learned from society. Majority of us, we are suffering because we are gripping too tightly or too loosely onto our thoughts. The mind gets hooked into beliefs that say, I don't have the money, knowledge, power, energy, information, or understanding to manifest what I desire. Or the mind cannot hold long enough onto the idea and feeling that I do have the money, knowledge, power, energy, information, or understanding to manifest what I do desire. Whatever we believe is what we create. And thus we manifest this amazing, effortless, manifesting adventure or a perpetual daily struggle to survive. How many do you believe on this planet are on a perpetual daily struggle to survive? It's not about getting what you want, it's about wanting what you've got. Sheryl Crow. It's not about getting what you want, it's about waiting or wanting what you got. Buddha would say that the secret to enlightenment is finding the middle path. To find the middle path, we must choose to look within ourselves, stepping out of the periphery and towards our total center. The real work we are here to do is not just on the outer world, yet also the inner. All our outer struggling is a pointer directing us back inside. Suffering is a great teacher showing us where not to go and what not to do anymore. Pain is like a hot poker directing us to back off and rest inside until we are finding the middle path. When we do listen to our bodies, we can naturally find a way to loosen or tighten our grip on this life. And then this ultimate freedom simply finds us. It's quite magical how it all unfolds. The universe rewards us when we truly trust in it. If you want to see if you're too attached to a thought, just notice what's happening in your body. Whenever the mind becomes overly attached to any idea, a tension in the body forms. When we think that thought, the more tension we have in our outer body, the less receptive we become to allowing that desired outcome into our life. The mind tends to be a cling master, an ultimate skeptic of this life. It hasn't learned how to trust life. And so we need to retrain it. Whenever the mind thinks this universal power is not real, permanent, and trustworthy, we need to remind it that it is. When we can stop clinging to thoughts, things, feelings, people, and memories, we will begin to trust this universe, that this universe will provide all of our needs. We can stop working so hard. We can retire our illusion and take a rest from our daily worrying and fears. We can use our precious time appreciating and basking in the divine source that is already here now. Challenges are what make life interesting. Overcoming them is what makes life meaningful. Joshua J. Marine. In this quiet time of this meditation, focus on or contemplate how you feel about letting go and understanding that everything is temporary. Not really motivated anymore on wanting things for the most part, because you now start to realize that when you let go is when things come to you. And what it means to you to hold the bird loosely, but not too loose, and firmly, but not too firmly. I'll join you in the meditation. I'll return to close this out. Take an easy and slow breath in from the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. For 6 minutes today, explore this statement. The truth of who I am is. Just pointing in this direction will spontaneously and magically allow you to awaken your highest level of being. You can easily transcend and ascend past old illusions when you are centered in the truth of who you are. All your unconscious, hypnotic doing and thinking patterns will disappear when you are present to this truth. What do you feel like you need to do today? Discover more about the truth of who you really are. Knowing who we really are gives us permission to forget who we think we are. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night, following morning. We will return here Sunday, October 29, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's going on within you or outside of you.